EPAWA meteorologist Bobby Merchant here with your outlook for January 23rd, 2019. For your Wednesday, we are looking at a system moving in from the west, and it will have a warm front with it initially that's going to be pushing through the region. And with that warm air advection, we'll have a few showers, and those showers will freeze on some surfaces, especially this morning in some areas, but it's not going to be a heavy freezing rain here. We're just looking at little spotty showers or light freezing drizzle across most of the area that is dealing with that freezing precipitation, and it's driven by this system out to the west, and a cold front associated with it is back here. So taking a closer look at this, and this is looking at the GFS here, shows a very light precip, and is mainly across the interior here, and then after the very next frame, 6 hours later, it jumps ahead to just light rain showers. So I don't think you're dealing with anything heavy today regardless during the day. And not everywhere for those showers, but you will have some areas of freezing rain, and we're going to get into that now with the NAM high-res future simulated radar. And this is the newest NAM from this evening. You can see this is at 8 o'clock in the morning. 32-degree line is way, way south, all the way down here. So anything north of here, even though it's showing green here on the map, like this stuff here around the Lehigh Valley, southern Poconos, this stuff up here, there's parts of the area that will receive some light freezing rain and drizzle, and that actually might pick up a little bit once we get a move forward in time. So there's 8 o'clock, here's 9, here's 10, you can see, and 11, you can see the coverage is expanded. But here, even at 11 o'clock, 32-degree line is right here. So anything north of there, it's falling as frozen precipitation. So again, Lehigh Valley, southern Poconos, back here in north central PA, parts of northeast PA. It's going to be intermittent and light and not a real big deal, but it doesn't take much ice to cause issues. So that's why we have the winter weather advisories out from the National Weather Service. And I do think this is mostly a morning deal for areas along and north of 78 and even south of 78, but there's really not too much going on down there in terms of precipitation coverage. As we get into the after at noon, here's a look at noon. There's a little bit more coverage of this light precipitation, mainly across north central and northeast PA, and this is what the global models are picking up. But it's a little bit more concentrated out in this region, and a little more spotty east, and that's why it's showing there on the GFS in that previous image when we go back to that, just in that area. Okay, but it is going to be spotty freezing drizzle, mist, maybe a light freezing rain shower that will come through. And this goes right into the early afternoon, but it looks like the 32-degree line here at this point is going to be moving north of I-78, so the freezing, and that's in both Pennsylvania and New Jersey. So this could also be some light spotty freezing drizzle right there, and also northeast PA, parts of the Poconos in here. That is all below freezing. So that's why we had that map out for that light freezing rain. It should only be a couple hundredths of an inch in total. Not a real big deal until you get out here. But this is something definitely to keep an eye on today. And we will have this going on in the higher elevations anyway. That threat is going to continue straight into the afternoon. You can see this is now 4 o'clock. Still got it going on in pockets up here in the higher elevations of the Poconos and parts of north central Pennsylvania and northeast PA. You still have that threat going all the way into the evening hours. Here's 7, here's 8, and finally we get rid of that threat after that point. We just go to showers. So again, if you're getting anything today, it's going to be light during the day, and then we get in the evening, it should be light as well. It's not until we get to the overnight here, past midnight, we get into more concentrated rain. And it will be rain everywhere moving through the region, maybe some locally heavier pockets moving through straight into Thursday morning. And then it's going to end generally in the early afternoon hours as this all moves off the coast. Might even end as snow across north central and northeastern Pennsylvania very briefly. I don't think it's going to be a real big deal. Maybe Cody Noonan stuff here on the back end, and that's out here pretty quickly by early afternoon at the latest. So not a real big deal from this system. With theirs, they are getting rain overnight, though that will be a big deal because it's falling on frozen ground. We were just very, very cold the last couple of days, so that's going to just run off as opposed to being absorbed like it normally is. So that could lead to some minor flooding issues in some areas as well. So this system is going to move through. Again, just northeast PA, we're looking at for maybe a back-end change, possibly at the very end, but not a real big deal. Once we go a little bit forward from this, we get into the rest of Thursday is mostly cloudy. Temperatures are going to be falling. Not a rapid freeze, though. We're not looking at a repeat of Sunday. Once we get into Friday and Saturday, we're back down to colder temperatures and much colder both days, in some cases below freezing on both days. But we're looking at partly cloudy on both days. And then once we get into Sunday, there's a chance for snow showers. Now, the evolution of this is a little crazy once you get past Friday, Saturday. After that point, all bets are off because the models are starting to guess. And the reason they're guessing on the evolution of things. I mean, look at this here. This is looking at later on Sunday evening. It's got a double barrel low up here in New York, very strong too, might I add, and very little precipitation with it. You got some heavier precipitation up here, but this is all real light stuff here, light precipitation. I don't want to take this at face value or anything behind it, because there is one coming behind it. It looks like it's going to be a little bit more potent coming in here. So the reason they're having problems is because of this split flow out in the Pacific. And this is looking at the eastern Pacific. Here's Hawaii. Here's the western coast of the United States. So California is right here. Here's Nevada. Here is Oregon up here. So just to give you an idea of where we are, we're of course off the map here, but you have a split flow jet pattern out here. Whenever you have a split flow like this, here's the northern branch like this, and you have a southern jet coming in like this. You have a split flow. And the models can't rectify this when you have the split flow problem. It is a problem with the models, and is a known problem with the models, and they start to guess once you get downstream. So anything you're seeing in the longer range, and I see it all the time. I see the comments on the Facebook page. I see comments to this video on YouTube. I see comments on Twitter, and everybody wants to, play model analyst and say, oh, well, the GFS has this now. GFS has that now. Don't latch on anything beyond 5 days, because right now when the split flow is in place, which will go away eventually, when we get out to day 5, we start getting a little bit more ridging out in the western United States and lose that split flow. Until then, it's going to be guessing because of that split flow. Models can't handle that very well. And we have some issues with modeling. So let's go back to that system here. Here's the system that we're talking about coming in behind it. Now this is what's projected right now. Again, take this with a grain of salt, but it has a system bringing snow here in the 28th, 29th time frame. This is the Monday, Tuesday time frame. This will be Monday night into Tuesday, but it has, the latest run has this thing cutting inward and bringing like a snow to rain deal here on Tuesday, and then ending as snow. Okay, previous run looked like this. It just came down south of the region, didn't cut at all, and brought a moderate snowfall across the region. Okay, so they're in flux, and they're changing every 6 hours. So don't latch on any long-term solutions. Is all I'm saying. There could be snow or rain. If you look at our local forecasts, it says chance for rain or snow on Tuesday, because we don't know. I'm being honest with you, because the models are guessing right now, and we can't get a firm idea of what is the correct solution, and that includes what's going on Sunday. Sunday we listed snow showers in some regions. That might not even happen, or it could be something bigger than that. Who knows? I'm telling you, it's really crazy. Although Sunday I don't think is going to be a big deal. I think it's this wave that has potential to do something, and we're going to revisit this throughout the week, and hopefully once we get in a little closer range, the models will start figuring this out a little bit. But just expect changes over the next couple of days with a longer-term forecast. When I say longer-term, we're going beyond 4 days, 5 days and beyond. Because that could be very volatile and change quite frequently. I'm EPAWA meteorologist Bobby Marchers. That is your outlook for January 23rd, 2019. Have a great Wednesday.